What's up, everybody? You are listening to X3 Drop. I'm Xell.
And I'm Ducky.
And today, what we're going to be talking about, because it was such a prevalent topic in our last episode, is the bans. We're all dreading, I don't know, maybe we're not dreading it. Some people are probably very happy that the ban announcement happened, but we are getting bans in August. Do we have a date yet on that?
I don't think we have a specific date. I think they just said August 2025, which is very close, right? It's very looming.
Yeah. So that being said, it changes a lot about how we think about OP12, right? And this is going to be a big one because, hey, Nationals is on the line for all of our competitors and such. So
we'll see, though, because they're just announcing the bans in August. We don't know when they're going to come into effect.
That's
we don't
true.
even necessarily know that the bans will be live for Nationals.
Yeah,
specifically.
I
so
think
we'll see.
it's happened before, though, right?
I think it has.
From what I can tell, sometimes they just don't care. They're just like, oh, there's a big event. Good luck.
Yeah,
you know?
Which is honestly kind of cool.
Yeah, it definitely adds a X factor to these big events, and very scary for someone like me who I'm the type of player who likes to see the lay of the land. I want everything mapped by a cartographer and then shipped to me through Amazon Prime, and then I go, okay. Copy paste.
You're the navigator of the ship of the pirate crew. You're the navigator.
Call me Nami.
Yeah.
Just only slightly less sexy, but
well, you're looking kind of good lately. Yeah.
I have no hair, but But anyways, before we get into the rest of the video, want to shout out the Patreon. We've been getting more people signing up to the Patreon, which is fantastic. We have extra episodes coming out every week, and we're going to be restarting up the One Piece, at least we should be, the One Piece watch-alongs as well. So there's a bunch of bonus content that's out and about, and our Discord is growing. So, hey, come join the community. We've got things that we want to do over there. So this is a good time to go check it out. So with that, let's get into the meat of the episode.
And speaking of the meat of the episode, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Gum Giant. Gum Chanclas.
Yes, as he's affectionately called sometimes.
Yeah, in particular regions.
Yeah.
This is the card that everybody is talking about. So this is going to be number one on everyone's list when it comes to what card is most likely to be banned come August 2025.
Yeah, I think kind of the way 8-cost Moria used to be sort of, I don't know, public enemy number one, right? In terms of what people wanted out of the format, Gum Giant has been kind of just around and looming, and the problem is that they've just continued to print more purple Luffy leaders, because we've seen Gum Giant since OP09, but back then we only had the purple Luffy guy, but since then we've had 3 more purple leaders, specifically Monkey Derrick Luffy's
that
Monkey
were printed.
Derricks, specific capital D Derrick, and so
these are like alternate timeline purple Luffys. Doctor Strange just portals us in. There's more.
How many more? It's all the different universes, like Spider-Man across the universe.
That's right.
Yeah. All the different Monkey D. Luffys.
It's like, you're Derek, I'm also Derek.
Spider-Man meme, so the problem before wasn't as pronounced, I think, because it was just one leader. But suddenly we have a whole slew, a cast of Monkey Luffys that are just running rampant, right? And so
rampant.
Oh, I was on to something.
You're
there.
Cooking there. Yes, chef.
And we compare that to Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria obviously had problems because he didn't have any restrictions, essentially. It was like, oh, play the color black, you play Gecko Moria, because he does everything that a black leader would want.
Was there a black leader that didn't play Moria?
I think most
like
decks
straight up they
bent
just all
over
played
backwards to play Gecko Moria. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of one.
Was 3D2Y Luffy?
They were playing Moria.
They were playing Moria too. I can't remember that far back. I'm going to be honest with you.
Hey,
literally everybody.
Everybody,
right?
yeah. So I mean, again, I can't remember if any relevant black leader wasn't playing Gecko Moria at the time because, brother, that card is just
broken.
busted. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was busted. So, so now talking about Giant wasn't an issue when it was just one guy's favorite toy, but now that the love has spread out and there's all these new leaders, and
Now
some
that
of them,
everybody wants the Labubus.
yeah, everyone wants the Labubus. They're so hype right now. Yeah, it's become a problem, right? And on top of that, it's like since OP09, we've seen really strong purple leaders come out, right? I don't think Gum Gum Giant would have been as much of an issue if it wasn't for the fact GP Luffy, incredibly strong leader, comes out. Blue Purple Luffy, insane leader, comes out. So it's like these problems have compounded with each other, and now, yes, we have to now examine, does Gum Gum Giant deserve to be banned?
And I kind of want to bring up the timeline of the Gecko Moria ban because there are a lot of similarities between Giant and Moria, right? Every purple Straw Hat leader just plays Giant. Like, you just have to play Giant. It would be dumb if you didn't play the card. So, but I think when Moria was banned, there was like a ban list that it dodged entirely, right?
I don't know now. It's not off the top of my head.
Or like it stretched on for quite a while.
Moria lived a little longer than
right?
people thought it would. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Like, because it only recently got banned in April.
Oh,
I think
man.
it was the April ban list.
I would love to get a timeline on this.
I'm pretty sure it was April of this year. The
gets
4
banned.
cards got banned, but it was like prevalent for multiple sets.
And I'm kind of curious why it lived as long as it did, because the Moria time period, it was dominant since its release and in OP06 and lived all the way until, what is that, OP08? 9?
11.
Wait.
No, 10.
Did it just get banned in OP10?
I think so. Like 10 release.
My timeline is all screwed up, but yeah, that's a long time.
I think 10 release. Maybe 9. I can't remember.
I'm not-
It might be 9.
9, because we had Dofi running around, BY. That was,
It was
OP08.
9.
I think,
Yeah.
start
Yeah,
of OP09, it was banned.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to get our facts straight here. But yeah, so Gecko Moria lived quite a long life,
He is an amphibious.
broken life.
And them boys live a long time.
Yeah. So, similarly, I think Gum Gum Giant has been around for some time, but like I was saying earlier, it's become an issue.
Like it wasn't really a problem until this set, right?
Yeah,
like
it's-
OP9, it was introduced just purple Luffy. That's fine.
That's fine.
OP10, just purple Luffy.
That's
fine. EBO2, green purple Luffy comes out. Oh man,
Maybe
this
not
card,
fine.
This card is pretty good, but we can manage. Now purple black Luffy, blue purple Luffy, green purple Luffy, purple Luffy, Nico Robin. Sanji also
Would use it, yes, in OP
on the horizon.
Yeah,
OP12. So there are also implications of like how would cool decks like Sanji suffer from a Gum Gum Giant ban. I am a purple player.
we know.
And I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm like the guy who gets bit by a zombie in the zombie movies, and I just hide it. Oh, this I just fell off my bike. This is an infectious Gum Gum Giant. That's a balance card. You can't ban that. Surely you cannot.
That's very funny. You're just a zombie walking around. I still like Gum Gum Giant. I'm fine.
I feel
fine.
fine.
Gum Gum Giant's fine. You've got spores. Just I guess the most recent zombie movie thing I've seen was The Last of Us. So I think of like the mushroom people. You're just half mushroom, half person.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's fine, guys.
I'm a fun guy.
we gotta send you to
Yeah,
Purple
take 'em out
11.
back.
Yeah.
But then you also have to ask the question, right? Like, would purple Straw Hat decks die without Gum Gum Giant?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I think most people's initial reaction is obviously some decks rely on Gum Gum Giant more than others, right?
For sure.
So I think decks like GP Luffy, I think we talked about this last week. GP Luffy has the most to lose
I think so.
losing Gum Gum Giant.
Maybe Nico Robin.
And
Also, probably Sanji as well in OP12. Without that, I don't know that deck can function without additional support.
yeah, I haven't looked too much at how Sanji plays, but I believe in our boy. I think he can make do. He's got so many events, man. I don't know.
Is that a bite there too?
Dude, I have been getting bug bites recently, so it's no joke. Maybe I've been infected. Yeah. But I don't know. Obviously, though, for any middling deck, losing a powerful piece to that is really annoying, right? Which is why I think when people were talking about the Moria bans back in the day, people were like, oh, just errata it, make it leader locked, right? It's these other guys that are the problem, not me. I'm just a good guy. I'm one of the good ones.
Yeah.
So I think
It's like every ex-boyfriend to ever exist.
Yeah.
Like,
I can change. I promise. I'm not like those other guys. Yeah.
I'm open-minded.
I'm open-minded. You live alone. Let me just scoot on in. -2 done.
Yeah.
So, anyways, like I think it's unfortunate, but I think that you still have to examine that card, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's like the glue card for the purple Straw Hat decks, right? But because it's the glue card, we do have to examine if this card is the only issue, or like if we were to give it the ban hammer, right, is this the only solution to this problem?
Oh man,
right? Like, could we just ban Blue Purple Luffy as a leader because that leader is problematic for the future design of certain cards when it comes to the blue and the purple color archetype?
I think Blue Purple does have its own issues. I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit here, but I think the problem with Gum Gum Giant is a problem that's been compounding a bit. So I think Gum Gum Giant at face value is just a powerful card, but in context of all the meta adjustments that have been happening around it, that is where I think the problems really lie. I think purple as a color has been getting really good defensive tools as of late, and I think that's it's weird because you can't really even though we lump purple Luffy's together, they're functionally very different decks. I think specifically GP is the deck that is very separate from the others. Maybe I guess you can kind of say black purple. For the sake of this talk, I'm gonna ignore black purple. I'm sorry. It's nothing against you guys, but you guys aren't as relevant to the conversation.
What he means to say is that you guys are less evolved as a people.
Yeah, you guys need a little more help. But the way Gum Gum Giant operates for GP is that it's one of the only ways that you can effectively force a race between you and your opponent. And so on face value, I would say Gum Gum Giant is one of the only ways GP can exist because it as a deck functions by forcing a race between your opponent and you put yourself in an advantageous position because you're a 6K leader and your board is mostly 7Ks and you're just attacking so fast so that generally your opponent, if they can't interact with your board, it's hard for them they just have to play that game with you, and Gum Gum Giant is what lets you win that race, right?
So would there be another card that could potentially be banned to kind of stifle that GP Luffy pressure other than Gum Gum Giant? Because like you and I have talked about last week, the ban of Gum Gum Giant would effectively just really, really hurt that deck.
Yeah.
It may not exist in the future.
I truly don't know because I think that deck kind of uses the parts of Gum Gum Giant the best, right? It plays a lot of bricks, so you get rid of the bricks. You get to see more cards and filter your hand. Like that deck needs it really badly.
It keeps you at the same amount of Dawn for a very long time, which is really important for cards like Sanji Pudding to go off, for your Going Merry to be active. That's it.
Yeah. But it's enough, right? So it works really well in that sort of GP ecosystem, and it's very compounded on itself. The problem is that deck is so lean, man. Like I truly don't know what else you could ban from it. Maybe you ban stage, for example, and you make interaction. Am I cooking?
Wait, you're actually kind of cooking. Ban stage?
Yeah, I think maybe Mary could be part of the problem with that deck.
And then, that's pretty advanced. I think GP Luffy, the GP stands for Galapagos. I think, I think we're seeing evolution as we speak.
Because I think, again, part of the reason why I think GP has been sort of annoying in the meta is how hard it is to interact with.
It's
right?
very difficult.
We've talked about this forever, but 7 cost is a very awkward number to hit for every deck, essentially. And so I think if I were to ban something specifically to hurt GP and nothing else, stage, right?
You're actually cooking here. But then that begs the question, right?
Now, what about the other guys?
Well, the other guys, there are potential solutions to the other guys.
Sure, okay.
But I think the most common rebuttal for a Gum Gum Giant ban, it's getting reprinted in OP12.
That's true.
Right? It's getting reprinted in OP12. Going Mary, we just announced a premium Bandai for it.
Oh, man, did we really?
Yeah.
Is it in that new one?
Yeah.
Oh.
But then again, right? It's
happened before, right?
Yeah, to play devil's advocate, Jinbei got banned, and Jinbei got a 7 Warlords reprint.
That's true.
And
we haven't even gotten that premium Bandai yet.
Exactly, right? So, I don't know.
Unless they were so big brain that they're going to unban it by the time it comes out.
Bandai, you guys are cooking on this
That
one.
would be crazy, right?
Oh, hold on.
That would be... If that was planned by them, I'd say they're geniuses.
Our overlords are here.
Yeah.
Overlords are here.
They know our every move. They're watching. They're in our phones. They're in our ears. They've already ruled
Finger
the
on the
world.
pulse.
Yeah.
They're controlling the beat of the drums.
Yeah. We're in the Matrix and we don't know it.
Yeah.
What's that quote? That one guy who like betrays them. He's like, if it smells like steak. There's like a famous quote that he says, right?
Talk about steak in that movie.
Yeah. So have you seen The Matrix?
I have.
Okay. So
long time ago.
Okay. So there's that one guy who betrays the rest of the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scene where they confront him about it, and he says like, "Well, I actually like The Matrix because hey, if I eat a steak, it smells like steak, it tastes like steak, it feels like steak, then it's steak to me. I don't care if it's fake. It's real to me, right?" That was his sort of argument.
I see.
And
I think he got bit by the zombies too.
He also is against the Gum Gum Giant man. Yeah. I'm not sure where I was going with this, but anyways, that was that scene.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, but I do want to speak to how Gum Gum Giant has become a problem for the other decks because I think the way it's used in Blue Purple and Purple Luffy are very similar, right?
Sure,
that it is just purely a way to extend the game to force a resource battle between you and your opponent. And I think originally it wouldn't have been an issue like in OP09, OP10 even. What has changed? ACOS Katakuri.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of ACOS Katakuri and Gum Gum Giant, those two cards are just so absurd at that let's play the long resource game. It's so hard to win when both of these cards are against you, right?
Not only do you have an 8/8 body, he's a blocker, restands himself, and gives you that Dawn to keep you at 10 Dawn for the rest of the game. So you're just cycling giants at that point, and you cannot touch them for 4 turns.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so I think that one is very simple to talk about, I think, in that I feel like if you wanted to hit those decks, Gum Gum Giant makes a lot of sense because it would be reducing some of the defensive power that those Gum Gum Giant offers. Now, I think the one thing that's good for those decks is that there are alternative cards, I think, that would be okay. Would the deck suffer? Of course, right? Like, I think you can't argue that those cards don't bring the deck power level to something even higher. But I think they would be fine. I've seen blue purple lists run less than 4 Gum Gum Giants before. Luffy has been a good deck without it as well. So I think there are versions of these decks that would survive a Gum Gum Giant ban regardless. But I guess the ultimate question we have to ask ourselves is, does the game get better if we ban Gum Gum Giant?
Yeah, so let's take our 30 yen and put it into that binocular machine and take a close look at the horizon, right? A Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
What do we see? What decks would thrive without Gum Gum Giant in the meta? How would this change the landscape?
That's a very good question. I think the big thing is other sort of bigger, aggressive mid-range decks have more of a reason to exist. So I'm thinking decks like Shanks, for example, I think suddenly become a little more interesting to look at. I think other... like even decks like Kalgara and stuff like that, like other decks that kind of want to play a resource battle with you and race against you, now they actually have the ability to fight back against these purple decks a little bit more. Other things that would impact it, I think it's just other decks that want to go taller rather than wider. I think the outcome of Gum Gum Giant in our meta is that now it's less good to attack at big numbers. Gum Gum Giant's just too efficient. Like, oh, you swung at me for 3k over my leader? Idiot, I've got Gum Gum Giant. And so, the meta has naturally evolved to where if you want to play under these decks, you are going as lean as possible. Bello Betty, she got no body fat. She is swinging at the most optimal clean amounts as she can.
Yeah, that's Miss Olympia.
Yeah, Miss Olympia. Zoro, same thing. It's just 5/6s, never higher. 5/6, 5/6. And so I think the meta would start to change, and then other sort of big decks, again, like Shanks, even Bonnie, I think, has a better chance at dealing with Pluffy if Gum Gum Giant gets banned. I'm trying to think of other big decks that were relevant before.
We'll kind of get to it, but perhaps Blue Doflamingo?
Yeah, Blue Doflamingo could. I think he has other issues.
Oh, that's true. But I mean, I think that there can be a healthy triangle to exist if there's the clown, aggressive decks that the clown just shuts off entirely, and then decks like Blue Purple Luffy or leaders that kind of abuse Gum Gum Giant in that manner. That could be a relatively healthy-ish triangle with gaps in between to fill in with other leaders.
Yeah. So if anything, maybe other purple decks could also come back. I think that's the other
Iceberg.
thing. Yeah, Iceberg. That's really what's holding the man down. Gum Gum Giant.
And then they just announced 10 cost Roger shuts off Iceberg ability. Now he can swing. Big for Iceberg.
That is big for Iceberg.
Big for the mouse.
He's not just a politician. Yep. He can get in there. Yeah. Lead from the front.
Ain't nobody safe.
You think he uses the mouse as a stand at that point? He's just like, go, my son.
It's gotta be, right? It's just what's the pre-evolution to Mousehold? Tandem mouse.
Tandem mouse? Yeah, tandem mouse.
But it's the pre-evolution of that. It's just mouse.
It's just mouse. But yeah, I don't know. I to be honest, I'm not really sure how much the meta changes around Gum Gum Giant getting banned, besides maybe just opening up the floor a little bit to other more combat-oriented decks.
Yeah.
Because we
the mid-range decks for sure.
The results of where we are in the meta isn't just because of Gum Gum Giant, right? I think a lot of the cards that exist today have shunned out a lot of these other decks because we have stuff like 3-cost Tashigi, the Crockhawk from Buggy. Interaction is just sort of at its lowest right now, and so it obviously just kind of gravitates you to purple because if you can't interact, you either want to go super low or super tall.
You just want to beat them up.
Yeah.
You just want to fight.
And you want to go as extreme on both ends as possible. And so I don't really think where we are in the meta is due to Gum Gum Giant existing. It's got other factors within it.
Yeah, the ecosystem is a very complicated thing, right? It's like you cannot pinpoint the one thing that caused this bird's talons to look the way it did.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's quite a butterfly effect sort of thing where, we banned Gum Gum Giant, now everything has changed. It's like, I think some things will change, but I don't really know how drastically.
Yeah, like you know how Hawaii reintroduced like mongoose into its ecosystem as it's like an invasive species. Now they're like everywhere, and it's a big problem. They just bred like crazy, and they're causing issues. And they're like, yeah, this did not work.
Yeah. So kind of similarly, I don't really know what will happen. I think the biggest reason to ban Gum Gum Giant to me is that people are just sick of it. You know?
Yeah.
I think.
Do you think that's a good reason though? Like, oh man, little Jimmy from next door, Jenny from the block is sick of Gum Gum Giant. I don't want to wear sandals anymore.
Yeah.
Can I wear loafers, sneakers, combat boots, some other footwear?
Yeah, but no, we're stuck with the chancla.
Yeah. Like, is that a bad thing?
I'm of two minds about it because on one hand, I don't have the same sort of leader, I don't know what to call it. Like, people just get sick of seeing the same leaders a lot, and people just find that irritating for them. I think Lucci is one of those decks that people just have gotten sort of irritated at seeing. But I don't feel that way. I've always just been a fan of whatever makes the game most competitively interesting is what I'm a fan of, right? So banning Gum Gum Giant to me doesn't really make the game more interesting for me personally.
Does it make it less interesting?
No, I think I'm not. To be honest, I don't think so necessarily. I think there are just other factors that make the game a little less interesting now than it was previously. But I think the biggest. Where was I going with this? I've lost my train of thought entirely. Help me. Where was I?
You were talking about.
Bring me back.
You're talking about how. You prefer leaders.
Oh, that's right. I just phase out of the universe in that moment. But I'm back. So for me, it's not an issue. However, Bandai is a business at the end of the day. And if people are saying, enough people go, I don't want to play this game if all we're going to see is this, then they have to take action, right? And I think maybe...
or, alternatively, you call their bluff. This is like Usopp. This is the guy who cried chanclas, right? Sometimes you just got to call their bluff. Hey, man, like, this card is not a problem. The pirates are not coming. And then everybody dies.
Yeah, so I think the hard question for Bandai is going to be, is really Gum Gum Giant the problem, or is it the leaders that were the issue, right? And like actually pinpointing that. And if I'm being honest, the leaders haven't existed long enough, I think, for me to feel like, oh man, I'm sick of seeing GP. I'm sick of seeing blue purple. I truly am not there yet, but I can see why they would maybe touch Gum Gum Giant, because people are just like, we're sick of the purple Luffy menaces and we just want something new to be in that spot.
Yeah, because blue purple Luffy hasn't even existed for a full format yet.
Yeah, not even a single set.
GP Luffy has existed for a format and a half. Purple Luffy historically has not really been a problem. It's existed since OP05. So I'm like, I don't know, like, is Gum Gum Giant actually the problem, or are you guys just feeling some type of way because of like an oversaturation of one character and one color,
specific character
one
and color?
Derek, yeah.
I think that's a really good point. And you just look at the tournament results, and I don't see these decks as being. I mean, they're obviously very good. And I think maybe it feels too early from a balance standpoint to just shoot them in the foot already.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. In the chanclas, yeah. Those toes ain't safe.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's where I stand, but I could see them just saying, hey, you know what? We just want something new in that spot. take it out back. You
Yeah.
know,
I could see that too.
I think RP Law kind of was similar for us in the West because I think people have said, at least from what I've seen on Twitter on like the East side of things, they are sick of Blue Purple Luffy. Like it's just everywhere. It's just been a menace. But it just hasn't been the same in the West, right? And I think similarly with RP Law, you know, they had a different issue. They had Black Maria RP Law to contend with. But even when I compare those two things, they're just on such different drastic levels that I don't really see the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with you here, but we hear you guys. We hear you guys. Gum Gum Giant is everywhere. Purple Luffys are everywhere. I understand that you're sick of it.
Continue.
Suck it up.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, but we're gonna take a look at other alternative bands.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring up a good friend of the show, Snake Man. The Snake Man. We've been talking about this guy for a little while now. But do you think it's more or less likely that the blue-purple Luffy leader gets banned instead of Giant?
So I think this one...
It's not going to be both.
Yeah, I would doubt it's both.
I would highly doubt that it's
highly
both.
doubt. I think blue-purple Luffy definitely has grounds to be banned, if I'm being honest.
Like this, just strictly coming from a power level standpoint, just seems like an absolute menace of a card. The second it hits 8 to 10 Dawn, you're drawing 2 cards a turn. Like that's kind of a problematic leader, right? Did they think that this was okay?
Dude, this leader is just so incredibly pushed in a way that... So, okay, we've seen some of the spoilers from OP12, and I also think that, or OP13, right? And OP13 leaders also look really pushed, right? Like, we've seen now there's 2 different leaders that are double colored with 5 life, and they don't have, like, the can't attack. There's just mostly upsides, essentially.
Was there 2?
Yeah, because the red-black Sabo leader is also 5 life. I didn't know that at first. It's 5 life. So, yeah, so you know when we talked about how we think they're going to be playing around with double color 5 life leaders? Yeah, it's already here.
It's here. Yeah.
So they're already accelerating that sort of leader power creep already. And oh my god, today I'm just completely losing my train of thought as I don't know what's happening to me.
The train of thought. Names.
My birthday's coming. I'm getting old.
Yeah,
I'm
my
getting
god.
Old. I'm senile already.
This is the early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
It's coming in strong.
Yeah. Okay. I finally I caught it and I'm good now. So what I was gonna say is that for these newer leaders, at least they're using archetypes that either haven't been historically a problem in those colors or they're new archetypes. So they don't have a entire library of cards to choose from to, you know, build a deck out of. But specifically with blue purple Luffy, it's not only that, oh, you draw 2 cards a turn, it's that also it's a Straw Hat Searcher in effect. And on top of that, you get to manipulate those cards in however way, shape, or form. So it's like, even if you got rid of the Straw Hat Search component of that, you know, leader ability, it would still just be powerful because of just the draw 2, or on the other side, just being a searcher for Straw Hat. Like, it's compounding these already powerful foundations for the deck. And so, yeah, I think blue-purple Luffy has a lot of grounds to be on the ban list. Now, the question is it too early, though?
I think it's probably a little too early. I don't know. Like, I just kind of want to say decks like Lucci have been around for a long time, for multiple formats, meta relevant for multiple formats. People have been upset at the deck for a long time now. People still play it. Like, people still hate it. And I think that we should not be so quick to just take something out back and absolutely just execute it. Like, give it a few sets, maybe 2 sets at least. Granted, we do get to see OP12 in the East before it hits the West side. So there is some grounds to say, like, oh, but we have eyes on it for a long time. Why not just prevent an issue from happening that has happened in the future instead of just letting it continue on in the West as well, right? Let history repeat itself. But I think with the introduction of the starter decks that are available here in the West for us, later in the East for them, and the lack of the blue Whitebeard A starter deck here, the format is a little different. I don't know if it's different enough to really call them different formats. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it is still just a little bit too early. But does banning the blue-purple Luffy leader solve the giant issue? Like, if you were just to ban this leader, then you would just see a lot of GP, right?
Yeah, I think GP comes back, and then if GP comes back, then I don't know.
So just banning this leader alone will not solve the issue. You probably would need to load up a shotgun.
Yeah, at least a double barrel shotgun, because there's more than one leader to kill.
You gotta kill a few extra guys.
Maybe this is something that we talk about more at the conclusion of the episode, but it's kind of just like, where do we want the game to look, where to be, what do we want it to play out like? The only thing I'll say about blue purple and why I would be on board with the ban now is that I just don't think that it's a very interesting deck for it to be BDIF. And I've always said this, I think when BDIF is a deck where the mirror is interesting, that's when the formats are at their best. And blue-purple mirrors are not interesting.
They're not interesting at all.
And so if that deck does become, de facto BDIF the way we've been seeing it in the East, then it sours the format for me too. So I that's my only argument, is that I do think that blue purple isn't that interesting. But the thing is that whatever takes its place, which would likely, I think, be GP Luffy, I don't know if I feel any better about it, to be
certainly
honest.
do not, yeah. But I also want to ask the question, right? If this deck stays meta relevant after the Gum Gum Giant ban, would the layman, would the bourgeoisie still be rioting in the streets?
Yeah, probably. Like, I think people just don't like seeing the same leader for too long.
So it's like not a giant issue. If they're still rioting with Giant gone, and then this leader is still meta relevant, and they're still, banging at the door, let us in, January 6th.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think if I've learned anything from my time in game companies, it's that usually when you have an audience who is really mad about something, you don't really listen to their complaints directly. It's the why that they're complaining is usually wrong, but the fact that they are complaining means something.
I see.
And so I would say, yeah, I'm not going to be listening to people, because again, I don't think it is a justifiable thing of, I'm just sick of this leader, we should ban it. I'm not on board with that at all. I think that's ridiculous. However, I do think that maybe there is a underlying gameplay issue potentially that is making the game less fun overall. And that's where my head would be at if I was a game designer and taking a look at what's these riots, I guess.
Yeah. Well, to move on from blue purple Luffy leader, I kind of want to keep us on that purple train here. A card that you and I had talked about before, which had very high potential for getting hit, which dodged multiple times, is 9 cost Charlotte Linlin, 9 Mom. Does 9 Mom give purple too much survivability? This is not a leader locked card. This is a card that gets restood and prevents combat interaction via Katakuri, helps you filter bricks, and heals you. Kind of a goated card.
Yeah, this card is very good. This was, even before we had blue purple, this was a card that was on my radar of like, maybe this is a potential ban.
Yeah, you and I
honestly.
both talked about this.
Yeah. But now we've seen in the future, now that we're here, that 9 Mom ban would probably only impact blue purple, right? It would be a direct nerf to blue purple, and I think it'd be a pretty big one.
I think so too, right? It's like if you decide to not ban Gum Gum Giant and not ban the blue purple leader, banning 9 Mom really cripples this leader's survivability, right? Like without 9 Mom, man, you are taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, I mean, 9 Mom is one of the only ways that you can viably
survive
against any aggro decks, to be honest. So and not only that, it is one of the centerpieces for how you play against a lot of decks, right? Because blue purple, obviously you have inevitability on your side, so anything that extends the game is very good for you. Nine cost Mom is maybe the best card in the game that extends the game for more turns.
Between that and Gum Gum Giant, right?
Yeah, and Gum Gum Giant. So I think this one's actually better than Gum Gum Giant, specifically in blue purple. It's a 9-cost body that's cheated out by Sanji. You can restate it with Katakuri.
You get that -1 Dawn back from Katakuri.
You
get to manipulate what gets put into your life, so it could be a trigger.
Yep, you can put triggers back into life. You can remove an attacker off their board while healing you, so it's really like you're tanking 2 more hits for the process.
This is Black Friday the card.
It's crazy. Everything's on sale. It does everything.
What is this? Amazon Day?
Yeah.
Bezos Day?
Amazon Day. Yeah. So
Nijia Meat Day?
Yeah, Meat Day. Yeah, that one's not as good. That one
was 20%.
That's like 8-cost Katakuri, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, 9-cost Mom is incredible. Does that kill blue purple? No. I don't think so.
What would you play in its place?
I don't know. Another 9-cost. I'm
but like one that doesn't heal you.
Yeah,
you know,
so
like that's kind of a big deal.
It would be a big deal. Blue purple would very clearly take a huge hit. You just can't keep up with aggro decks anymore. Like before you could pretend to, you sometimes edge out wins against Zoro, Bella Betty, GP.
Strictly off the back of 9 Mom.
Yeah, strictly off the back of 9 Mom. Now that's not possible.
Which actually might just be healthy.
It could be. I think probably if 9 Mom's off the table, you probably switch the deck entirely over to like the Dofi style, with like the 5 costs Rosinante plus 8 costs Doflamingo, and you play that route instead as like a way to boost your survivability. I think the sort of the current style of blue purple would have to be changed a lot. But here's my thing is that I don't think any one card being banned would change blue purple very much in terms of like how viable it is in the meta. And I just think that because the leader ability is that powerful, regardless, it can morph itself into whatever shape it needs to be to fit the meta.
Right. As snakes do.
Yeah, snakes do. Yeah, it finds a way, right? It finds a nook and cranny and exploits it, and then becomes meta relevant. So I think 9-cost Mom, honestly, if specifically they think the issue is within blue purple, 9-cost Mom could buy you a lot of time with the leader in order to make people feel like, oh, we can keep the leader around for a little bit longer, and then ban it in the future when we get another Straw Hat set or something.
Yeah, like when it actually feels like a problem. So I think banning 9 Mom is actually a pretty... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, smart decision when it comes to lowering the power level of blue-purple Luffy specifically.
Yeah.
Without actually having to outright ban the leader or ban Gum Gum Giant, which may or may not even be the problem. I don't actually know.
Yeah, me neither. So, continuing on, we've got Hody Jones. The animosity towards this guy is very high. Yeah, it's kind of insane how quickly we've come to just say like, yeah, we're just going to ban this card instead. And I was very surprised to see how many people really wanted this card gone.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising because I had talked about this in one of our prior episodes, but I think the playability and the popularity of this card is mainly due to Gum Gum Giant being extremely prevalent, right? Because there is constantly Dawn standing. You're playing blockers like Katakuri. These are the cards that are important for you to rest out of the way. Hody Jones has Rush, prevents you from being starved by your opponent. And I think that's the reason why this card is very, very prevalent right now. Obviously, it was popular in the past, but mainly for resting blockers, right? There wasn't really a whole lot of relevant counter events prior to OP9. When did this card come out? OP6. So it came out a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where I sit with this, except that I don't see a ban on this being justified.
I don't think so either.
it's one of the ways that you can keep, like you said, purple decks in check in the first place. To be honest, like how many decks before Gum Gum Giant even held up Dawn like that to begin with? It was like Bonnie, Nami, Whitebeard, but like counter events were like not that popular before.
No, not at all.
And they only grew in popularity because of the prevalence of Gum Gum Giant. So what are we doing here exactly?
Yeah, but then again, also Hody was prevalent in most of the green decks, if not all of the green decks that could play it, right? Like Green Uta played Hody Jones.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think green decks played Hody Jones just because it was a generically powerful card. But that doesn't mean that it's ban worthy,
right?
In my
Exactly,
opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like I think, I don't know, what's another generically powerful card that I guess Pudding we're gonna talk about in a second.
ACOS Kid as well.
ACOS Kid. But I think, just because a card is generically powerful doesn't mean that it should be banned. I think Hody Jones is only powerful I shouldn't say only, but is more powerful now because of the context of that we live in a hold on up meta.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I think if you were going to hit purple at all, banning Hody Jones doesn't functionally do anything to me, in my opinion. And then it would have to be some other very clever ban against purple that you would require Hody Jones to also be banned after that.
Yeah. So let's kind of pretend, right? Let's say Hody does get banned. How much does green suffer without Hody James?
I mean, incredibly, right? Like I
think so.
I think it'd be really, really bad.
Just
like,
the firepower is alone is just not enough.
Yeah,
right?
like for example, one of the only ways green decks ever beat Blackbeard is through Hody Jones. So now your Blackbeard matchup is abysmal. Your matchups into
Blue Nami got way worse.
Got even worse, which was already kind of bad for you, but again was one of the ways that you could punch through. And then on top of that, your matchups into the purple decks, purple Luffy decks, I should say specifically, are now actually functionally impossible. I think, before, especially against blue purple, Hody. There are certain lines that you can take with like green yellow law or just any Hody deck that you kill them before they get to that point where they start drawing two cards, because you get on the board really fast and then you just jam face through a Hody, and usually early on into the game a blue-purple Luffy leader can't afford to -2 Dawn to play Gum Gum Giant in the first place, but also can't hold up that much Dawn to begin with, right? Because they're busy actually trying to get on the board. So yeah, I feel like banning Hody would, if you were sick of purple Luffy before, banning Hody Jones makes that problem 10 times worse.
What if you ban Hody and Giant?
I guess.
Would that make the meta healthier? But like, if you were to get rid of Hody, there's a new Hody-esque event card that's coming in OP12, right? That would just replace it directly.
It would replace it directly.
But it would not be a body that has rush, I guess is...
And that's big because green doesn't really have access to a card that has rush outside of Hody Jones. So again, I think, if you ban those two cards, Blackbeard would be an ultra menace. Yeah.
Blackbeard would be so crazy.
I don't know if we want to live in that world either. So
nope, I do not.
And then, of course, when we talk about generically good green cards, we also, in the same breath, have to talk about ACOS Kid.
Yep, Eustass.
Eustass, as he's affectionately called. Kid, I forget exactly when it was. I think it was right after the last set of bans. People started saying like, man, ACOS Kid, maybe this is the card that should be banned next. I remember so quickly after the last set of bans, people are already sick of ACOS Kid, and I get it. ACOS Kid is not exactly a fun card to have to contend with.
It is very unfun, especially now with the introduction of Tashigi into like every single green deck possible. It's really frustrating to play into. Like having the Rosie blocker already was annoying because it gave Kid an extra life. Now you can't interact with it at all. Yeah. You can't even bypass KOs.
Definitely the Fortress style of green is a style of play that I think is not interesting and not very fun. I guess if you like that gameplay, fine. I can't I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but
Yeah.
it's annoying for everybody
It
else.
is so annoying.
And the problem I see with it is, again, I think this is just me personally, but I really hate this push towards uninteractability. Is that a word? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I said that this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I think that movement has been particularly annoying with ACOS Kid decks because it's like, okay, so I can't interact with you. So then what do? I just have to play the only cards that can sort of deal with it, which is like the red decks, right? And
10k bodies.
Yeah, or just some way to minus and shrink Kid. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's great. Now,
it's like not necessarily an answer that I would love to have to include in every deck, because at this point in time, ACOS Kid is an auto include in like every green deck, right? So having every red deck forced to play cards like Mole Pistol, every purple deck forced to play cards like Gamma Knife, is this good for the game? Like, probably not when it comes to card design.
Yeah, and even from a green player's perspective, like, you want people to get caught off guard by Kid. It becomes way worse as a card when everybody is
prepared
bringing bringing Mole Gun, bringing Gamma Knife. Like, now you don't want to play Kid again. So I think. Do I think from a power level, does it deserve to be banned?
Probably not.
Not
It's
really.
annoying. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's very annoying.
Very annoying.
But when it comes to power, when it comes to power level, I'm like really just comparing it to cards like Giant, like ACOS Moria, like Ice Age, right? Like, these are the cards that are extremely, extremely powerful just on their own.
Yeah, and I will say ACOS Kid is close.
It's close.
It's close.
Very good.
I think it would not be on our list if there wasn't an argument to potentially ban it. But I think it's fine for now. But to be honest, if they wanted to be really heavy-handed with the bans and just like, hey, we want to get rid of most generically powerful things.
Yeah, here's 17 cards. Have fun.
Yeah. Figure it out, idiots. Yeah. So there's I don't know. There's an argument for why I would consider this as a
I could
potential
totally see
ban.
that.
Yeah, but would I want it banned? Maybe for me personally, but
Yeah, for me personally, get every green card banned. It.
yeah, just get rid of the color. We're a five color game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so down. Oh man, I'm eating good. To hop back onto the purple train, another card that is talked about when it comes to, damn, this card is so strong. It's Sanji and Pudding. But the argument that I kind of have here is that this is a card that's only played in GP. But the flip side of that is, does this card make that leader too strong? If you were to keep Gum Gum Giant unbanned, how else would you tame the power of Galapagos Luffy?
Galapagos Luffy. That's very funny. If you're gonna ban Sanji Pudding, just ban leader.
Straight up. Because if you were to ban this card, the deck almost assuredly just dies, right? Just straight up dies off of the face of the earth.
Because we've talked about this as about GP Luffy, but it is Sanji Pudding the deck. The whole deck is predicated on finding that card and playing that card and abusing that card.
Without this card, your deck is just not functioning.
Yeah. So to go back to potential other bans for GP, I think again Stage is
an awesome, I think, little cook from you. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, because I think one of the problems again with GP, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but it's again this sort of uninteractability
for sure
is really one of the key issues here. Not that I'm trying to bring back Lucci into the forefront again, but I do think that's one of the main reasons why we're seeing so many more cards that are printed where it says like original cost and like whatever.
Yeah.
But if you just got rid of Stage, then it would open up a lot more answers against GP. The other card that maybe I could take a look at would be the 6-cost Luffy, just as like a way to sort of shrink the power level a little bit.
The firepower of that
yeah,
deck,
yeah. Again, because GP, like I was saying earlier, is a deck that kind of forces that race against your opponent, a race that's not very good for your opponent. And the race is especially not good when you have to consider the double attack of the 6-cost Luffy, right? So I think that is maybe the 2 cards that I would probably take a look at if I wanted to just tweak down GP's power level a little bit.
Yeah, there are also market implications when it comes to hitting GP Luffy as a deck archetype, right? The Dodgers Luffy just came out.
Oh my god.
The price is insanely high. I think that's a card that the price will likely stay high, but I think is very, very high right now because of how limited it is, how exclusive it is, and how playable the leader is. If it loses one of those 3, I think the value will tank a little bit, right? SEC, the EBO2 6-cost Rush Luffy, that card has kind of held its value even through the reprint announcements. It's still like $45. The AA is still expensive. And then the EBO2 AA leader is still $300.
My God.
Right? So like there are market implications when it comes to giving a banhammer to something related to GP.
Yeah, that is crazy. I didn't realize it was still that high.
It's insanely high.
Yeah. I'm surprised. So market aside, I think, I wouldn't see Sanji Pudding get banned, but I could see some of these other maybe auxiliary pieces get banned.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the stage being banned is an awesome choice, right? Like removing the stage reintroduces interaction against that deck, which I think is very cool, right? If you kept in Gum Gum Giant, removed stage, and then removed Mom, and gave decks more tools to fight against Lucci, could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want more interaction.
Yeah, you're kind of
less.
cooking
Yeah.
on that one.
Okay, so let's talk about the next kind of big purple card that I think has been sort of on people's radars these days is the ACOS Katakuri blocker. This guy, I mean, he does it all. He seriously does it all. He re-ramps you. He makes your board hard to swing at. He saves you cards over time because if they're not swinging at over 7K, then it's a free block.
Yeah, free block.
Yeah, and
He's just value time. He's the mayor of value time.
He is the mayor of value time.
Actually. This is an absolutely insane card, but it's not necessarily played in every deck that can play it, right? Like when you take a look at ACOS Gecko Moria, when you take a look at Gum Gum Giant, these are cards that are played in every single deck that can possibly play it. ACOS Kata, not necessarily the case.
Yeah, it's only the decks that want to ramp as quick as possible, which, to be fair, is a fair number of
It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It is a lot of them. But will an ACOS Katakuri ban only weaken blue-purple and purple Luffy? GP Luffy doesn't
care
at all. Purple-black Luffy doesn't care at all. They would still be top contenders. And this would effectively just murder an entire deck completely. Purple Katakuri.
Which is really sad because that's the namesake of the deck.
Yeah, so like I think it's pretty unlikely that this card catches a stray. I would really hate Purple Kata players to just absolutely get demolished by this.
I mean, I think this is the same sort of dealio with ACOS Moria when people were like, "Oh, just errata it." I wish us Moria players we're so fair with this card, and yet you just take the ban because Lucci players got their grubby paws on it, and suffering that for Katakuri players would that would suck.
Yeah, that's a pretty apt kind of comparison, right? It's you must die for our sins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Purple Kata players. You guys got to die for our sins here. Yeah. We have committed some war crimes.
Yeah, so ACOS Katakuri, I think the only way I could justify a ban on ACOS Katakuri is if, again, you do a very heavy-handed approach and you start banning left.
Just everything.
Everything
that's like powerful. And then you would have to print cards moving forward that are just not powerful. And then people would never talk about power creep ever again. About power weird guy.
I think, speaking to that, I think that would also be sad too, because I think, I if I was to use a metaphor for fighting games, I think, there was that kind of period of time where every new fighting game that came out was like a very stripped down version of what that franchise used to be. I think people would say, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, like Street Fighter V was a little bit like that.
No, that's a very apt description, right? I played a lot of Street Fighter V, and that game was pretty bare bones, right? Like, people didn't really like it because it wasn't that exciting. It wasn't that dynamic. It was pretty bare, but that's the reason why I liked it, right? It like had a really big emphasis on defense and footsies, whereas people were like, "Oh, I just want to be crazy. I love Street Fighter 4." And don't get me wrong, I love Street Fighter 4. That game was whack. That game was crazy.
Yeah, and then one iteration before that, you had to use something even more wild,
even
and
more
crazy.
Yeah.
And I think similarly, when Strive came out, people were kind of like that too, where like, man, we just had Rev 2, which was this crazy game where you could do so much, and then you gave us that. That's crazy. Same thing with Melty Blood. Melty Blood originally had the most insane kusoge stuff I've ever seen in my life, and then they came out with this new Melty Blood, and it had, people were calling it sauceless, right, and dripless. I don't know if you've seen the characters in that game, but they are dripless.
I have, and it's pretty bad. Yeah, but when it comes to sauceless games, like, sauce isn't for everybody. Like people who want to eat really decadent foods, really just awesome gourmet foods. Yeah, it's filled with sauce. But you got bodybuilders like me who just want to eat super, super lean. I will just eat
chicken, rice, broccoli.
Yeah, chicken, rice, broccoli, 98.2 ground beef all day, every day. Bird food. I'll just eat it all, right? And that is what I like when it comes to the things that I consume.
Yeah. But in context of a card game, though,
could be pretty bad.
Bad, yeah. Like if at the end of the day we're all just playing Go Fish, are we having fun anymore?
Right?
Yeah.
So. Like, because part of the reason why I think Hearthstone as a game was so popular was because of its inherent uniqueness when it comes to variability and how random each game was going to be, right? Like, the design philosophy behind that game was so that each game on its own would not be similar to a previous game that you have played. Everything is new because Yogg-Saron would do crazy stuff. You never know where this Ragnaros shot is going to go. I don't know how my knife jugglers will juggle these knives. It's inherently pretty random, right? Piloted Shredder, Doomsayer comes out of it. Crazy. The game was exciting because of that, but it made it pretty frustrating to play competitively.
Right. And I think making that balance is going to be the hard part.
Yeah,
so
walking that tightrope is definitely not an easy task.
Yeah.
Next up, I want to give a special shout out to our good friend, dear friend of the show, JCM, Jonathan C.
Mother?
Might Beard.
Yeah, what is JCM? Have we ever solved that mystery? What does JCM stand for?
It's just his initials. And then I don't know what M is.
Oh, yeah. John Chow.
Mother.
It's
gotta be Mother. It's gotta be Mother. Yeah.
It's just funny to me.
Yeah. This is a very hated card in the community, Charlotte Pudding. 4-cost Pudding. Blue effectively is the only color archetype that has access to an effect like Pudding that messes with your hand resources like it does, right? Purple has access to Blocker Law, strips 2 cards randomly. Black has access to Isho, strips 2 cards. Black also has Perona. You get to ditch 1 card. And
Negative Hollow.
I was going to say, yeah, also kind of the same thing. But Pudding is a card that has counter attached to it and cost 4 and will just absolutely mess your hand up. Rather than just -2 cards, from 9 cards, from 10 cards, from 11 cards to 5. It is absolutely crippling at times.
Yeah, the power level between the other cards we mentioned to Pudding is not even close, right?
Yeah. But like on the flip side too, right? Does blue necessarily have all the tools that purple has? Does blue have the tools that black has in the same regard? Does blue deserve to keep Pudding?
Right. So I think that's a really important thing when we talk about balance, because yeah, the effects might look kind of similar at face value, but they're in context of a very different archetype, right? Blue versus black. So, okay. But to touch on Pudding, and does blue deserve to have a card that powerful? That's a tough one.
Blue was a color, I think, for a long time that was pretty
underpowered.
Yeah, I want to say
up.
underpowered in each meta, and only recently has it gotten a lot of love. And even then, blue is not necessarily the color that people are really annoyed with, right?
No.
Like, it's only because blue purple Luffy is so powerful that people have been seeing a lot of blue. The only other blue deck that is meta relevant right now is Buggy, because Doflamingo already got hit.
Yeah, dude, when you look at the history of the game, blue has not had a good time, right? We had Croc Leader, which was rarely relevant, but our friend Sean did his best to put it on the map. Then it didn't see play until Rebecca, and Rebecca is all Dressrosa focus.
It's also like not really a blue deck.
Yeah, not fun. It's kind of its own thing. It's a Dressrosa deck more than it is a blue deck. And then
same thing with Usopp, right? They're kind of the same.
Sakazuki, also very similar in that way. It's a Navy deck. It didn't really play generically powerful blue cards. It just played things,
the specific blue pieces that were powerful in that deck.
And to be honest, it's been that way even all the way up until now. Yeah. And even actually, I shouldn't say until, it's still going through today.
Because blue purple
future.
Luffy is not a blue deck necessarily.
Like it uses Sanji the best, but the core of that deck really is the purple side of things, not the blue side. So really, blue still I think stands as maybe the weakest color, I think, out of all the colors in One Piece
Historically,
yeah,
or just currently.
Kind of both.
I feel like yellow is pretty weak.
Maybe right now,
yeah.
But at least yellow has had
historically it's been quite strong.
Yeah, and has had generically powerful cards that prop it up as a color. Blue truly, like, Pudding is its best solo card outside. Truly, can you think of like other cards that are like even
generically really powerful?
Like
I think
Red Rock, Gravity Blade
is crazy.
But I would say Pudding is more powerful than those cards even. So and then the short list for great blue cards like goes down tremendously after,
it does.
After that.
Yeah,
so,
it totally does.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of wanted to bring up the question here, right? Is we're talking about banning. This is an OP11 ban list going into OP12. Does banning this card solve any of the current issues in the meta?
Absolutely not.
It does not.
Absolutely not.
So I think it's very unlikely that this card gets hit.
Yeah. I think there's a world where we should take another look at Pudding and say, like, is this a card that we actually want in this game? Because I do think I've seen some tweets about it where people are saying, like, from a competitive standpoint, it sucks because sometimes games just come down to, like, did you shuffle good or not after the Pudding, right? You just get an unplayable hand and you die for it. Is that really where we want to be, where, like, a Hail Mary card like that exists? Yeah, I see that point entirely, and I think that's frustrating. So I think there's a world where Pudding gets banned someday, but in context of where we're at with our current meta, what's the point?
Next up, we want to briefly talk about potential unbans, because this isn't just a ban list, right? Bandai has described this monumentous occasion coming August 25th as a bans/restriction update. Right. This is not strictly current cards, new cards that are being banned. It's a restriction update, so potentially cards that were banned in the past are able to be unbanned. And number one on my list, free James! Free him, our boy Jimbei.
Bring him back. The world, again, we touched upon this last episode too. He's fine. He's got a chaperone. His name's Buggy, and he's gonna keep him in check.
Yeah, I think that the important question to ask here is, why was this card banned in the first place? And we know the answer to that, right? Blue Doflamingo was insanely powerful. It just enabled that deck to kind of run free in its like vacuum, right? That vacuum of a meta that it was relevant in. But now with the introduction of promo buggy, with 6K leaders, with potentially 7K leaders coming on the horizon, right? How would the reintroduction of this rare fish species affect the local ecosystem? Would this be an invasive species that terrorizes the local wildlife? Or would it just master all 4 elements and save the world?
Yeah, I definitely think that Dofi changes a lot of things with the current meta.
Yeah.
All the decks that have been trying to go under get thwomped by a Dofi, right? Like Bello Betty, you get messed up.
Sign me up for that.
Zoro, you get messed up.
Sign me up for that.
Like all those decks get absolutely murdered by Dofi. And if anything, if Dofi came back to the meta, it might just help purple decks even more. If
You
I'm being
think so?
honest, in some ways, yeah. Like, okay, sure, Dofi becomes popular, and I think Dofi does pretty decently historically has done pretty decently into purple, but he hasn't seen Katakuri before.
He definitely has not seen Katakuri. Dofi also hasn't seen GP. I wonder how that matchup is.
He has seen it, and it's bad.
He has?
Mm-hmm. It's bad. I mean, people were still playing Dofi in EBO too. That matchup is
without James.
It was without James, but it was messed up for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was messed up.
Yeah, because James is 5K, so yeah, you can't really just afford to. Yeah, I don't know. Also, Luna is crazy.
The big issue. Okay, so Luna was a big issue, but normally Dofi gets ahead by interacting with your board while spitting out all these bodies, right?
Yeah. It's just efficient.
Yeah, but with stage, you can't touch those bodies. They're staying on board. So then that's interesting, right?
How interesting.
If you ban stage and then brought back,
interesting.
Then it's a whole different ball game.
And now we're cooking.
Yeah, a whole different ball game if that's the case. Because I think Dofi does do what some of these other aggro decks do pretty well. Bringing back Jinbei would definitely make Dofi a lot more on par with the sheer kind of like aggressive force that like Bella Betty or Zoro brings, or even Rayleigh when Rayleigh comes around. So I think there's, I don't know. I think it would devastate local wildlife, to be fair.
Yeah, too much, or it would make it healthy again.
I think people would probably be a little sad about where some of their decks would be. Like, I think Rayleigh enjoyers would be very salty about that.
Yuck. So, whatever.
Yeah. But I think decks like Zoro might be totally fine into Dofi. And yeah, I don't know. I'm personally, I've always liked that deck. Obviously, I've been a Dofi enjoyer.
I think the deck is cool.
Yeah, I think the deck is cool, and I think it's one of those decks that you can actually interact with if you choose to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's a great place to be. Like, that deck thrives in an interactive space, and I think that's good for the game. So, other cards that I think that people have been talking about with potential unbans is Kingdom Come, Raigo.
Kingdom Come. Yeah, this is a interesting one because this is a deck, or this is a card that enables yellow as the deck color identity to deal with really tall threats, which this meta is, right? Like, would unbanning this card be a solution to our current meta? It could be.
It could be.
I
mean, A-cost Katakuri would no longer be the safety net that it is now. That's for sure.
Yeah, 9-cost Sanji Puddings, like these are all cards that just will die, right? Like this bypasses stage, does not bypass what is it called? Tashigi and like like cards like that. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily need to. It doesn't have to be an end all be all solution to every single threat in the meta. That would probably leave this card, still restricted. But I don't know. I think the reintroduction of Raigo could bring Enel back as a legitimate top meta threat. Like, it would be a very, very scary deck.
I also think Vegapunk would also have a much better reason to exist. Basically, all the low life yellow leaders, right? Like Enel and Vegapunk, have a reason to exist with this card. I also maybe even think, could it be played in Kalgara? Maybe even too. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think those decks have a much better reason to have some staying power against the purple ramp threats. I think part of the reason why purple has gotten so out of control is that we just don't have ways to efficiently deal with big bodies anymore. And to be honest, like Raigo would have been one of the ways to keep it in check. So, yeah, I think this card probably could come back, and it would be interesting. Yeah,
this card could come back when it comes to like meta balancing, but the specific reason that the Bandai balance team decided to restrict this card in the first place was that they said it limited card design. And if that was the case, would that make this card's unban unlikely? Probably.
Yeah,
right?
Actually, if they're saying if that was their statement,
the actual reason.
Yeah, if that's the actual reason, then it's
this
gone.
This card is gone.
Yeah. I think yellow needs a replacement card for sure. I think the yellow control decks just can't exist without a efficient way to remove a big guy on the board. And I thought Raigo was one of the more fair ways to do it.
For
but
sure.
Maybe
I thought
not.
so too.
I don't know.
I thought so too.
Because it's a big cost. You have to nuke all the way yourself down to 1 life too. Like,
yeah, and 6 is not anything to scoff at. It's not extremely cheap. 6 is a lot.
You only have 4 down left on your 10 down turn. Like, I don't know. It feels fair to me, but maybe I'm wrong. Another card that is in the yellow ban list was, of course, Reject. And this card obviously was really strong. Now, okay, so Raigo is for the control decks. Reject is for the aggro decks.
Yeah.
Being able to hit someone's life for 4 Dawn is an incredibly powerful effect.
This was the OG Shaq and Kobe. Reject Amaru?
Yeah, Reject Amaru was... Yeah, Shaq. Which one's which, though? Actually, Reject has to be Shaq.
Reject is Shaq. Amaru is Kobe. Yeah.
Amaru for the finish, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely Shaq and Kobe. And I think Reject has... maybe I'm underestimating it a little bit, but I feel like these yellow aggro decks don't need something to come back with. But I guess also on the flip side, do we think that this also would make Bella Betty just too crazy? I didn't really think about this.
I didn't. Yeah, it is. She does have access to yellow. I never really thought about that. Yeah, because this is an extremely aggressive tool for being able to punch through the tanky purple decks. The turtle style between Gear 2, Gum Gum Giant, Thunder Bagua, Blockers, Nine Mom. Like, we are just so tanky as purple as a color that giving yellow access to Reject again will give you some additional punching power that is relevant.
Yeah, so I wanted to take another look at this card just because I think we just need to even out ways that we can let that race between purple decks and non-purple decks to make it a little more fair. Like, what other cards exist in the ban list that maybe could make that a little more fair? I think Reject back in the day was a lot scarier because Katakuri was in full force, and we didn't really have any answers to Katakuri back then. But again, we're bigger, faster, stronger than ever. I think we're in a place where maybe, Reject is fine. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
Bella Betty is going to be insane. Don't get me wrong. I think
Bella Betty is insane, but if you're mainly worried about blue, purple Luffy, and Gum Gum Giant, like, Bella Betty is already a great answer into those decks. Bella Betty does well into blue, purple, does well into green, purple, does well into purple, purple. It's just already a great answer to that problem that people may be having. Giving it an additional tool is probably still okay. We would just have to view the implications of giving it Reject again compared to the other decks that it may not do so well into, right?
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I think Bella Betty is more of a symptom of the purple decks rather than
I think so.
Like the cause, right? Or I don't know if I got that reversed.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Reject could come back, but maybe I'm crazy. I don't
Would
know.
the reintroduction of this card into the meta combat purple without a Gum Gum Giant ban? Let's say they don't ban Giant, they reintroduce Reject. Does this solve any issues?
I think at least yellow decks into purple decks, there would be a greater
it's probably
shout.
pretty good,
I think it would be quite
Calcara
good.
is legit scary as hell.
Yeah, Calcar's already scary now, and
Now
with
you give
Reject,
him a searchable Reject.
yeah, searchable Reject. It's very very frightening. But yeah, I think it's one of the only ways to sort of like. So one of the only ways to force purple to actually respect your attacks is to actually get them down to 0. Because most of the time, other than that, like
You get him down to 1.
yeah, you get them down.
You reject it.
Yeah,
away.
you reject. It's the only way you can scare them into maybe playing more defensively or whatever. Like you need that kind of additional punch, and it's. Yeah, I think it's kind of necessary to fight purple in that way. So I don't know. Maybe it could come
Yeah, it
back.
could be.
Maybe.
It could be, right?
Yeah.
Like forcing purple to stay at 2 life or straight up go down to 0 and really walk on eggshells there. Those two, I think, are great tools to help fight purple.
Because like GP and Purple Luffy, they're usually pretty happy to take a couple life here and there. Like it's 1 or 2 life. That's what. But if Reject exists, now it's a lot scarier.
Yeah, those decks love to stay at 1 life.
With a
Reject
million cards in hand.
deals with that entirely.
Yeah. So I don't know. Interesting. It's very interesting. Do we have any other cards left on the list? So yeah, those are kind of the big cards, I would say, in today's meta on like what we think would be potentially ban worthy or something to take off the ban list. And I would love to know if we missed anything, right? I think we're pretty. I feel like we hit the ones that were very obvious, the ones that people have already been talking about. But hey, if you guys think that some of our takes are completely wayward, I would love to know.
We'll put them in the next hot takes video.
Yeah. We're always just storing them up for future videos, so keep them coming. We appreciate it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. You want to say anything else?
No, I mean, do you have any like closing thoughts on like what you think the ban list is going to look like? Like Bandai comes out tomorrow and they say, "Hello, everybody. I am Jonathan Bandai Desu. These are the cards that are getting banned. These are the cards that are getting unbanned. What is your prediction?" Put a boba on it. Ooh, whoever's closest.
Like by cards?
Yeah, so like
Has to be like +2 cards or +1 card. You just have to have more cards than not.
yeah,
Okay.
more cards than not. So like if you correctly guess an unban or you correctly guess a ban, that is like worth 1 point. Most points wins.
Man. And if
if you get something wrong, also
that's also a negative.
-1.
Yeah, because otherwise I'd say
you
everything.
say everything, yeah.
But okay, so first I'm going to just say what I would ban. If I was Mr. Bandai, and the way you described that, it reminded me of that Rick and Morty episode where like the big heads come in, show me what you got.
I don't know. I don't know.
Never mind. So if I was Mr. Bandai and I got to ban and unban things, I think I would ban 9-cost Linlin, Stage, bring back
Stage is such a good one.
Bring back Jinbei, bring back Reject, and see what happens.
So 4, you're at 4 cards.
That would be me.
Yeah, unban 2, ban 2, Stage and Linlin. Oh man, that's pretty. Let me scroll back up. I gotta check. Okay, I think that we should put you in charge of the committee. Loki, you're kind of cooking. I really like those decisions, but I just don't think Jonathan Bandai has his finger on the pulse. I don't think.
You think they'll be wrong?
I think they're going to be wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he marches to the beat of the cultural drum of the community.
Okay.
I think Gum Gum Giant's going.
You think Gum Gum Giant's going?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see it go.
Yeah.
I want to be honest.
Oh, yeah, of
This
course.
is my first love. I'm at the airport. I'm waving goodbye. Don't want to see you go. I'm sorry. But I think my first prediction, Gum Gum Giant is going to go. I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm going to stay. Oh man, am I only gonna guess that? Gum Gum Giant goes. Nah, there's gotta be more.
Okay, so if I was to be ignorant Bandai, like you're saying, I also think there's a world where they just go, just get rid of Blue Purple, call it a day.
Yeah, just as a solo.
Yeah,
solo
just
thing.
just get rid of that guy.
Okay.
But the other bands is what I'm going to stick with because that's actually what I believe in.
You unban Jinbei and you unban Reject.
Unbanned, Jinbei, unbanned, reject, yes.
I also really want to unban Jinbei, but if I want to win this boba, I got to be hot.
You let me go first. I'm sorry.
I did. Yeah. That was tough for me. Gum Gum Giant. Ooh. Gum Gum Giant not banned. Restricted.
Oh, I forgot to talk about restrictions. I hate that.
I also don't like it.
I hate that.
But I think Jonathan is a capitalist.
Yeah.
I think he's doing
We got to
it.
sell those new Gum Gum Giant alt art somehow.
Yeah. Gum Gum Giant restricted. I think
He scrolled back to hody and sat there for a second. There's no way. There's no way Hody's getting banned.
that's it.
That's
Gum
it?
Gum Giant restricted. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Restricted.
Restricted. Not banned. If it's banned, I'm minus. I'm -1.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Gum Gum Giant restriction. Okay. We shake on it?
Shake on it.
All right.
Boba Bet.
Boba Bet. Okay. Yeah, this is really interesting. I think so. Just to talk more conclusively about these bans, because I think bans should do probably like two things. One is like obviously bans exist just to shake things up. Like, hey, we just want to keep the game moving. Fine, you can ban for that reason. Do I think it's a great reason? No, but I think it is a viable. It's a viable reason. The second one is like, and what I think is the most important is like, how do we make our game more fun, right? And to be honest, I've said this before, but I think like they have taken the game's direction too far into like stopping people from interacting with each other, and I think that was a mistake. And so
I think so too.
I think I would rather see more stuff happen and then have people have the answers to those things that happen and then call that a day, right? Like I think the game is way more interesting in that way.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy who really loves combat when it comes to One Piece, the card game. That is my favorite aspect of this game is chipping away at your opponent, playing really slow, getting that one card, two cards out of their hand over time, chipping at their life. Hey, can I get this card? I'm threatening lethal here. Give me a card. I'm going after your board. This is my favorite song and dance when it comes to One Piece card game. But the way the game is right now is a little dry.
Yeah,
I will say it is a little dry.
That seems like the centerpiece to all games now, right? Is like either you're a value deck that chips at people's hands or you're a deck that races, right? And I think those two things in a vacuum are fine, but if they're the only way to play the game, I think the games feel a little lackluster to me.
Right? It's you have Italian food and then you have Korean food.
Both great.
And then you've got the bastard son. Fuse them. Fusion, ha. Italian, Korean fusion. Kimchi, mentaiko pasta, bomb.
Hot take, I hate fusion food.
I also don't really like fusion food, but like Louders, incredible.
Oh, Louders is actually incredible.
You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
fusion food.
Okay, yeah, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me. Okay.
But in general, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I would love to see the bands be, maybe they got something else cooking and maybe they got something that's more fun in store for us. I'm really excited. But yes, let us know in the comments what you guys think will happen in the bands. And
give us your list.
Yeah,
give us
I would
your
love to
list.
see it.
We'll tally up the points and we'll see who's the true winner here.
Yeah, I would love to know. So, that's a good one. We'll take it to the fans.
Yeah.
So
Let us know what your ban predictions are, restriction predictions, and we'll tally everything up, and then we'll give you a special shout out on the next one.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Bye.